Hello. In this session, we're going to show you how you can use what we call the extend functionality to use a couple of tabs in your spreadsheet to look up information that might not be in sequential order. So we're going to take the example from our last workflow where we are getting base prices for items. But this time, instead of just looking for one item at a time, we're going to allow Vince to use the extend functionality to input multiple items in a single workflow. So in order to do this, let's start again with our export MI API here and look for select OPRBAS just like before. And this time we're going to map the item here as our only input. And in source, instead of from client, we're going to do from Excel. Then let's add that OIS 017 transaction to get the base price from the information out of OPRBAS. And again, you might not need to do the OIS 17 transaction, but in order to make sure I'm getting what you see in the price lists, I like to use OIS 17, particularly when it comes to header versus line item information. There we go. Now let's map this to Excel. Now what's going to be different here is I've created a template that has two tabs in it, kind of an input tab and an output tab. You might have actually seen it in the last demo. It's called a source sheet and a target sheet. So the source sheet, I'm using this item list tab, and the target sheet is this OIS 17 base price tab that we used before. So the item list is really simple. It's just going to be a list of items. And the base price there is the same output we had before. Item list and base price. There we go. Let's use that as our design file. And we map them separately. So we map the input here by dragging the item number, that's our input item number, into the item list tab. And the output goes into the OIS 17 base price tab. You can see the difference there. It's showing you what information is in each tab here. And so we go through the process here of mapping all of the output fields that we want. And while I'm doing that, you can see now that when you run the workflow, you'll start from that item list tab and enter from 1 to however many item numbers you want to add. The workflow will go through each of those item numbers in order, and it will run the export OPRBAS and the OIS 017 against all of those items and populate this second tab. So you start with the first tab, enter the data, it runs, and it will automatically focus you to the OIS 17 base price tab with the output information when it's done. So I'm going to go ahead and add this to my group I've been using here, the base price demo group. And while it's fetching that, we go and find the extend workflow that we just created. There it is. Click save. And now when I go to Excel and refresh my screen and pull up this group again, I now see all three of these. So here's that using extend. You'll see there's no input to it. And when I pull up my design file, I see that there's just an item number and a column. So let's start with just one here, the same item we've been working with, so we can see that we get the item information that we got last time. And you can see it also automatically focuses to that second one. We do get some additional information here because I've got some data in my demo environment that isn't quite put together correctly. But what I really wanted to show you here is the ability to add multiple item numbers and run this against all three of them. So it's kind of a list, right? And then when we run this now, we see that I get a lot more information. You can see the item number 3 just like before, but now we've also got item number 4 and item number 5 in addition. So you can keep doing that. Now, the power here is you could then add more transactions to get that list of item numbers. Hope this was helpful. Thank you.